Hello and welcome everyone to our new episode number 11 about Power App form validation. In this video, we will learn about how to validate information in the form, how to notify user about any error, and advanced use of display mode function. These three methods are very useful to capture right information from your user. This will also increase user experience of your app since user will know where information needs to be corrected in order to submit the form. Now let's go ahead and see how we can implement this method in our existing form in My Task page. As you can remember, we had this My Task page designed earlier, and here we had created a pop-up form, and if you see here, if we don't if we don't input anything on job title and description, we can still submit the form. So that's not what we want. We want to mandate some information in the job title and description field. We don't want any of it to be empty. So if these are empty, I want to make the border red, or I want to somehow notify user these are the mandatory fields. Or what I can do, I can disable the submit button so that user cannot submit any information unless they don't fill those information in the following fields. So where do we need to actually formulate that? So for all these things, we need to write our code on the submit button. On submit button, when we will select, it will check the fields of job title and description. If that is empty, it will not shown as visible, or that can notify users that this field needs to be filled up. Or we can add some asterisk mark, so when these fields are empty, it will show user an red asterisk so that user can easily identify these are mandatory fields. So how to do that? So let's go back to the design mode now, and let's rename two fields here first. Selecting the field here, if we scroll down, we'll see the name of this card is data card value 4, which we need to be rename. Let's say title card, and then select the next one as the previous one and rename it description card. Now what? Let's do a check. No, let's bring an icon or a label with asterisks. Let's bring an asterisk label. So I have inserted new label here. Instead of inserting new label here, we since we are working on a pop-up group, we can copy some of the components, and then we can paste that component within that task. So let's copy this title. Why I'm doing that? That's a question, because this is a pop-up, and this if we would not work on the pop-up, this is not a mandatory thing. Since this is a pop-up and we are working on a pop-up, it's better if you can copy and paste items from the pop-up items. That's how it will keep the properties like visible properties as it is. So as you can see now, the copied new item got the visible properties visible, copied from the previous component, and this will eventually help us not to regroup things again and managing things much easier, and it will also make you hassle free. So now let's just make an asterisk and make the color as white, yeah, red. So now we know overcolor is red. Oh, we don't want overcolor. Let's find out the color here, and this is going to be red. So just let's adjust this thing. Okay, now you can see a little asterisk mark around the corner of job title. Okay, and we can also copy this asterisk mark again towards the description, and let's make it as same as description. So now the whole idea is this asterisk mark will be visible until some information is inserted into the field of title card and into the field of description card, and at the same time we want this submit button to be disabled. So let's start with asterisk. So we will program this asterisk, selecting this asterisk first. We can rename this one if we want to, but this is not that essential because we are not going to call it anywhere. So now let's set the visible properties. You can see the pop visible indicates true. When the pop visible is visible, that means this asterisk mark will be visible. So now to make it invisible, along with the title card, we have to write an if statement here. How to do that? So let's write if if title card equals, or we can say title card dot text equals dot dot, that means empty string, it will be visible, and otherwise it will not visible. Alright, and now you can see this is not visible. And why is that? Why is that? Now let's select title card, and on the default we can see the parent default is here. So instead of parent default, we can remove anything here from the default thing, and we can also add so hold for a second. I need to check where this level is. Yes, this is the level. if the title card text equals empty, then it will be pop visible, otherwise it will be false. Right. If you do so, it will make you see that this is working. So in this case, we need to correct something here. The title card is not showing information from the box itself. Instead, we need to enter some empty value here. So let's try out another way. Is empty a function title card text this is returning the same value. Okay. How this is working. So let's come back to this one later on. Now let's go back, go to the submit button here, and we will apply similar method, but in this time we will select the display mode option, and here we can see this display mode is edit. That means this button is enabled, but we want to put an if statement again. If title card equals empty, then we want the display mode to be disabled, otherwise it can be in edit mode. So now this is working, and we can test it. Like, this is empty right now, and the submit button is disabled. If we write something, it is getting enabled. Okay. All right. So similarly, along with this, I will be adding another statement. If the description card text equals empty, then it will also return display mode dot disabled. Otherwise it will return display mode dot edit. Now this time, if we run this app, let's say I am putting some data here. Okay, there is a problem. There is a problem. What is that problem? We have to analyze the formula. We are saying title card text empty then display mode will be disabled. Description empty, display mode will be disabled. So here the items are separate and calling for one action. Problem is this. So we need to call the statement in under same line. So let's delete this part. Let's copy this part and then delete this part. Instead of that, I'm going to add this. If any of them is empty, return display mode dot disabled, otherwise it will be in edit mode. Now let's try how if it is working perfectly. So we have test in the job title. We can erase that. We can write something on here. Still the submit button is disabled. If we write something on title, then the submit button will be enabled. See, the submit button is now enabled. If we remove any of the item from anywhere, so it will be disabled again. That's how it's ensuring user that something is missing, something is wrong. Okay, so another part we have to consider right now. We were working on this display mode, and I believe something happened here. Let's reorder this thing. Same formula should work for visible properties as well. So let's work with this one. On the we can work differently here. We can either select the visible properties, or we can select the text properties and write something in the text or not. Let's work on visible first, then we will see how we can work on text properties. So here, as we can see, now let's make this thing empty. It is not turning on. Where is the problem? We need to find out. So we are calling if statement and saying, if you find nothing on title card, nothing on title card, make it visible using the pop visible. If you so this is not how it should work. This is not how it should work. Then how it should work? Let's not do like that. Let's make it pop visible, and let's work with the text only. In the text, I will be saying if Alright, it makes sense. So we're writing, if title card is empty, we will show you this text, otherwise we will show you nothing. Make sense? So same formula, we'll go to description card, visible properties, and instead of this we will just change the description card. Text. Now see how it's working. So if we write something here, the asterisk red mark is gone. If we write something here, this red mark is also gone. If this is not, if this is empty again, it's giving me this result. How cool is that? So that's bringing us to the end of this session. We can also use notify, like let's not use disabled properties here. Let's just save these things somewhere else. We can copy paste next time. I do save my script every time I do codes. So now I'm going to delete everything from display mode and keep it as display mode .edit, the default mode. So whatever things I put in the job title and description field, I can always submit it. But if things are empty, I will not pass data to the SharePoint list. Instead, I will show user a notification, and also I will make the borders of these two data card red, so that the user will understand there he needs to put information. Okay, so let's select the submit button again, and now what we just said, if we don't put anything, we will notify user. So let's go on select. We have some on select properties here, but we will perform these actions. These are some actions, because when we submit, when we will press these buttons, this action will be performed. It will submit the form 1, and it will also make pop visible invisible. So I want it to be same, but before that it needs to check a condition. Let's erase that, and I'm going to work with if here as well. If title card dot text equals empty, or description card dot text empty, I can throw a message to user using notify function. Notify user that information is missing. Please check. Nice, right? Otherwise I can send data. Okay, there is a problem. Yeah, otherwise yeah, where is the problem? hmm mm-hmm. Huh. Let's just make these things work until here. Let's close the parenthesis. Closing parenthesis. We need another. Okay, we can notify. Okay, we have a missing bracket here, and we can remove one bracket from here. How cool is that? So now let's not be just here. Yeah, so it was okay, but we missed some semicolons and a bracket in between. That's why it was showing me error. So let's try it now. How to try? Now again we have something here, but we're not putting any data in description. That means our formula will be true. So if we select submit, we will get a notify message instead of creating a task inside this one. So let's submit and see, we have got a notification here. I don't know if you could see it. Let's make it possible for you to see. Let's publish this one. Okay, so let's go to the live demonstration. I hope you can see the my task, and on the plus we are selecting just one item, but we are not selecting. Okay, have you seen one thing? Haha. Our asterisk mark is moving with us. I know why it is showing like this. Okay, we can solve this thing, don't worry. So let's submit this. If we submit it, we should get a message. Yeah, I'm getting the message, but I don't know what you can see it. Let's make the window a little smaller for you so you can see. Allow me some time. I hope you can see now. And now I will try to submit it again, and we will see a notification coming. Information is missing. Okay, if I submit both data here, I can now submit it, and you can see a task is assigned here. So if we refresh our data source, we can see a new task is created. Wait for it. Yes, the new task 055 is created. If we see the 055, okay. So another part we can try, if something is missing, we can highlight that area also, okay. Although this is not necessary, if you have asterisk mark and you are most people are mostly familiar with asterisk marks, so best you can show user a message like a warning message, some fields are missing, okay. Now before that we need to fix fix one thing. Okay, give me some time. All right, so now we need to fix something before we go uh, ahead. We have an asterisk mark moving around. I don't want it to be here, so let's fix this problem. How to do that? Yeah, how to do that? So these are actually floating things, not within the card, so we need to have things that are within the card. So just remember, we need to have the formulas correct, otherwise we don't need to do anything. So I'm going to select one of the item within the card and just copy and paste things using the Ctrl C and Ctrl V, and from the text we will be selecting the properties of the asterisk mark text, if you can see here, and we will be making its color as red so that it looks like the previous one. Now it is fixed and it will not move. Similarly, we can copy and paste the description here within the card item, and instead of the text we can copy text from this field and paste it here and make it red as well. Okay, now we can delete the previous one. Now if we move things around, because this form is scrollable, this will be fixed, and if we see the things are working, yep, things are working. So our data error validation is completed. Yeah, and thanks for watching.